Hello everyone and welcome to Gap Supply. Today we're going to demonstrate how to use the second generation LED strip connector. This is actually our new snap connector. The snap connector is a pretty vast improvement over the first generation connector. Now you may recall on the first connector that has a little black tab that you pull forward and you slip your tape into it and then you try to use your fingers to pinch it back down. And those connectors can be problematic. Your connections can come loose as you're working with the tape, especially once you've already mounted it. And now you have to try to peel the tape back off to seat that connection again. And what we've tried to do here is to eliminate that issue with a nice, very strong bond and a good connection. So we're going to demonstrate how the snap connector works. Now keep in mind the snap connector is available for the 8mm, the 10mm tape, as well as the RGB strip light. So we've got all the different connections as well as butt connectors for putting two pieces of tape together. And you can see all that at gapsupply.com. Now, just to do a quick overview of the snap connector has a lid that opens up, and you'll notice it exposes two chrome pins. Those two chrome pins are almost like a paper clip where you actually slide the tape through the channel here. It gets pinned underneath those two chrome pins there, and you want to just wiggle it back and forth a little bit to seat that connection. Then you'll notice in the lid itself, it's a little hard probably to see on video, but there are two tiny little metal teeth in the lid of this snap connector. With that being the case, now you have the ability, once the tape has been inserted, to push it down, and now the teeth pinch it. So now that won't come loose. In fact, we're going to demonstrate that. But there is a difference between this snap connector and the way it works for the different tape lights. When you have a high intensity tape light, such as this one where there's 3 LEDs per inch, and the LEDs are very close to this copper connector section that you cut between. Now that will create a problem with this connector on the high intensity versus the less intense versions where the LED spacing is further apart. So we're going to show you how to remedy that with the new connector, because it's definitely worth looking into. So what we're going to do first is show you how to connect just your basic tape light with the less intense LEDs. You cut it as normal. Wherever you see the little copper dots on here, that's where you would go ahead and cut this tape between the two of them. And we're going to go ahead and open up this snap connector. You can see we're exposing our two pins. Now you're going to want to peel this coating for the back to reveal the adhesive portion of the tape, but for our demonstration we're not going to, because we're going to pull it back out. What you're going to do though is there's a little channel in here, and you're going to take this and you're going to push it right up underneath those little metal pins. Now, I recommend wiggling it back and forth a little bit just to make sure you got that connection very well seated. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to want to make sure on the top here there's a plus and a minus sign, but you can look at your wires just to make sure those are corresponding to your polarity on your strip. Then you're going to take your thumb and you're going to push it down until it clicks. Now, once it clicks, you can see I'm pulling on this tape pretty hard and it will not come out, even without the adhesive back being peeled back. So very, very good connector. Once you have it connected, it does not come apart. And you can see the LED here is spaced just about a little over a 1/16 of an inch away from the white base of this connector here. Now, that is not the case with the high intensity LED. Now, if we were to put the high intensity LED in here, you'd notice that the LED light diode there is now inside the connector, so it won't close. So to fix this, if we were to make this connection, we're going to have to adjust the way that we cut our tape. And essentially what that comes down to is you're going to lose an inch of tape that's not going to be usable on one end because of the way we have to cut this. So we're going to take our scissors here, and we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to cut it where you still see both of the copper dots. And the reason we're doing that is that's going to give us the ability to have the space that we need to be able to clear the LED, so it pushes it further out where the lid will close. Now what that does is that exposes all 4 of the dots. So in the same fashion that we did the last LED strip, we're going to go ahead and insert this strip. And you'll notice that in here there's a little channel which keeps the LED tight down to the bottom. So as you push it in and you make the connection there, where on those 2 pins it connects. And you'll see now the 2 connectors, or the 2 little pins in this connector are now hitting the 2 closest copper points of contact. Again, wiggle it back and forth a little bit and in and out just to make sure you got the connection really well. And you can even test it with your power supply as you make each connection. Now, when we press it closed and it snaps closed, now you can see the LED diode is touching the lid, so it's tight, but you still cannot pull this out of there. Very good connection. Now, as you'll notice on this piece here, this end is no longer usable. So you will lose 1 inch of LED tape light every time you make a connection, but you're going to save yourself time and hassle and loose connections down the road. So at Gap Supply, we're always trying to improve products and bring them to you at an affordable price. So we thank you for viewing, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.